everybody. He's John. I'm Frank, and we're talking a late pick five at Laurel Park. You can read John's selections and analysis every day of live racing at Laurel Park on the racingbiz.com, and you can catch his video there as well as on YouTube and other points. John, let's dive right in here. The late pick five starts in race five, 12% takeout, 50-cent minimum. And this week includes both stakes, the Wide Country and the Miracle Wood, the latter for 3-year-olds, the former for 3-year-old fillies. So should be a lot of fun. Couple allowances, a maiden race in the sequence. So a lot of put all your handicapping skills to the test. Let's dive in with the fifth. You're going to use the 1 entry and the 6 in here.
Correct. I think even if Jamie Ness only decides to run one half of his entry, I would still use whichever one goes. The 1, Strancino, game second at this level. Last time out at Parks, first off a brief layoff, has great late speed and should get a nice trip. War Master was a strong second behind the very impressive Secret Zipper last time out. He really had no chance to catch him the way that race played out. I think he'll get a much more honest setup here. So I'll use those two as well as number 6, Derby Ness, who is likely pace setter. He got involved in a very hot duel from the far outside last time out, going a mile, held on well to finish 4th. Should have a much easier time on the lead in this spot.
Probably not going to find any value in this spot with those horses. You got the 2 leading trainers, and Jamie Ness has the entry, and Brittany Russell has Derby Ness, who has been the beaten favorite in 3 straight. Notable Strancino, half of the entry, cross-entered in an allowance at Aqueduct on Saturday, so could end up there. Although, interestingly enough, Jamie Ness also has another horse in that allowance at Aqueduct, so he's got multiples everywhere you look. All right, that's the 5th race. On to the 6th. This is a Maryland restricted allowance. You're going to single with a horse that pretty impressive debut.
This is one of my spotlight horses. Number 4, Take the Money Honey. Went off as a slight favorite on debut at Parks last July and ran a gigantic race. She was pressed on the pace from her inside, forced into setting very fast fractions, went the quarter in 22 and 1/5, half in 45 flat, and just got stronger as the race got longer. Won by 13 lengths, earned a huge figure on the Brisnet scale of 91, and that ended up being a pretty nice maiden race. The 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 8th, and 9th place finishers have all come back to win since then. The 2nd and 5th place finishers have won twice. This one went to the sidelines not long after that race, came back to the work tab for Michael Moore in early January. Had she gone back to the work tab a little bit sooner, you might have seen her in the Conniver in 2 weeks' time. As things stand now, she comes back here. She is coming off that layoff, but whose ceiling just looks so high. If she runs her race, it's just a matter of how many lengths she wins by, in my opinion.
So no love at all here for Spencer Tiara, who blinkers on has been the answer for 2 really good efforts since getting the blinks.
She's run huge in her last 2 starts, and if for whatever reason Take the Money Honey doesn't fire, Spencer Tiara is the most logical one. Showed a lot of heart in back-to-back races on the front end at Aqueduct. Got pressed on the pace in both of them, lost by a head one time, won by a half length the other time, both times with big figures. She has been rounding into form off the brief layoff, so I kind of wonder if we've already seen her ceiling of like an upper 80s, low 90s on the Brisnet scale. I'm not sure if we've seen Take the Money Honey's best yet. That one's workouts have been solid since then. And I also think, just because of the way I kind of structure my ticket, I think she's the most logical, one of the most logical horses to single in the sequence, giving me the opportunity to spread in what I think are more wide open races.
All right, that's Take the Money Honey out of Good One Honey. People may remember Good One Honey was a real talented filly who won the Weber City Miss at Laurel, and then was a troubled and well-beaten runner in the Black Eyed Susan after that, but had some talent, had a little bit star-crossed.
Yep.
All right, on to the 7th. The 7th is the Wide Country, $100,000, 3-year-old fillies going 7/8 of a mile. And John, we don't see you do this all that often, and I'm a little surprised you're doing it in this race, but you're going to press the all button.
I do try to avoid it in most cases, but it's the kind of race and a kind of sequence where I've narrowed it down enough in other legs that I have the opportunity to go really deep here. And I was looking at this race. It's a very wide open field. I think
It's
about
wide open,
six
I
of
agree.
them have a really strong chance to win. A- um, every one of these horses, I think, has run a race that could win this one. So I figure for a few dollars extra, I'll cover myself. I'll throw everyone in and try to catch a price. If you're a little more budget minded, I picked this race 5473. So if you want to narrow it down just a little bit, use those four and move on.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like to me that if you were, you could do that, or the other thing you could do is cut just a couple, and I think the couple you'd cut are New Boots, the one, and the six, Field of Roses.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them ran well last time out. Both get huge class tests today against these sorts. So, all right, John, hitting the all button in the seventh, on to the eighth, fourth leg of the pick five. This is the Miraclewood, $100,000, 1 mile, so 1 turn mile here. Uh, Modest field of six, probably going to end up being a field of five. Studley Do Right expected to go to the Battaglia at Turfway Park. So that would leave us with five. And John, you are going. This is another one that feels fairly wide open. There are a number of horses here that have run good races, that have won stakes, but you're cutting all that away. You're going with one of them.
Last time out, I was very high on Crab Daddy. I singled him in the
I've
spectacular
been, I've been
bid.
chasing that horse for months. So
Exactly. He lost by a head, and I'm going to betray him and single number five, Pay Billy for the Mike Gorham barn. Gorham has a very nice 3-year-old and possible Derby prospect, Omaha. But this one may end up being a best 3-year-old in his stable. He's run back-to-back big races here, broke his maiden by 3 parts of a length, 2 starts back, then ran what I thought was a gigantic race against first level foes back on January 25th at this distance. It was a wide open field on paper, but he got bet early and often, went off as a 6-5 favorite, set the pace, got a brief challenge on the turn, shook it off, won by 5, ran a Brisnet figure of 93. Best last out number in the field by 5 points. All the Hardways who came in second that day. He's also back here, and he came back to win a first level race going 2 turns on February 8th by 3.5 lengths as the odds on choice. This one has a lot of early speed, and in a 5 horse field, those dynamics can get a little bit funky. It feels like it's a kind of spot where if he gets out to the front, he could end up getting very loose on the lead and be able to set a pretty easy pace. And there's some decent late speed behind him, but I mean, he was kind of accelerating away from the others in his last start. His late pace figures are very good. I think if he's allowed to set fractions even vaguely similar to what he did last time, he'll prove very hard to catch and win this one pretty easily.
yeah, that was a good looking win. It looked like he was going to kind of get swallowed up at the head of the lane, and he kind of broke away from them after that. Won nicely. That was a good looking effort. Now, Crab Daddy, you mentioned, got blinkers on last time, got him a little more engaged in the early going, put his head in front in the lane, then couldn't quite seal the deal, finishing second to Barbadian Runner. Um, Crab Daddy still interesting. Not sure I want to chase him anymore. Still interesting though.
No, he ran a nice race, and I also like the race. Number one, Sacred Thunder ran in the spectacular bid. He was
Yes,
third by half a length. Might have been the best. He was completely
I think he
blocked at the top of
was.
the stretch.
Yep.
Had nowhere to go. Once he got going, he really accelerated pretty strongly. So he's definitely live for the underneath spots, but he doesn't have, I don't think, as much early speed as Pay Billy. And if Pay Billy gets that trip, Sacred Thunder can be in the clear all he wants. He's not going to run down Pay Billy.
All right, that's the eighth. John singling on number five, Pay Billy. On to the ninth, final leg. Maiden specials going 6 furlongs. These are 3-year-old fillies, and yeah, try that again. You're gonna take the outside horses here.
Yes, I have two horses with experience, and Two first-time starters from very strong barns. Four, Luna is Fire, has been working like a freight train
Really?
for Gary Capuano. The six, High Path, Brittany Russell Foster, how can you not use? Two horses with experience who I like are the five, Divine Works. Mike Trombetta thought enough of this one to debut her at Saratoga on the last week of their season. Ran, I thought, a pretty solid second, had a bit of an awkward move at the top of the stretch, lost her footing briefly, but still chased on. Had a terrible draw in a Maryland Lassie, drew post 12, still got well bet in spite of that and never really got involved. Finally comes back to the races here, thinks she's live. The 7, Mo Hype, has blazing early speed, lost to a very well-meant Brittany Russell Foster in Complexity Jane. First off the layoff last time out, still improved a few Brisnet points in that race from her debut. I think she can easily take another step forward, second off the bench.
All right, that's going to do it. John's got 4, the 4, 5, 6, and 7 in the 9th leg. We'll put up that ticket. John, that'll do it here. Final thoughts on the late pick 5.
Like I usually do, I'm centering my ticket around two horses. I got Take the Money Honey and Pay Billy. None of them are going to be, I think, huge prices. Neither are the ones in the first leg. Hopefully, we'll catch a decent number somewhere else. And with that 12% takeout, no matter how it comes out, it's going to be an overlay.
Well, yeah, hopefully, maybe since you press the all button, maybe you catch a long shot in there, which I don't know. My history is if I hit the all button, the overbet favorite wins. But
Always how it goes.
but anyway, all right. Good luck to you, John. Good luck to everybody watching, and we'll catch you at Laurel Park on Saturday.